Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever heard the story of a surgeon forgetting what they were doing and accidentally amputating the wrong leg of a patient? It sounds fake, but this happened 100% in the United States. The following story will make you both laugh and shake your head in dismay. Everyone thinks old people are forgetful. Forgetting what they went to the kitchen for when they get to the living room is a common occurrence. And if the doctor forgets whether to operate on the left or right leg, the patient can only say, "Oh my God, give me a break." If you'd like to hear more strange, touching, or humorous stories from the medical field, don't forget to like, subscribe to the Dr. Late Life channel, and click the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Tampa, Florida, winter, 1995. Sunlight gently bathed the tiled roof of University Community Hospital. But inside the white walls of the third-floor operating room, the air was as taut as a stretched string. The smell of disinfectant alcohol lingered in the air, the fluorescent lights casting a pale, wan hue on the skin of patient Willie King, a man in his 50s who suffered from severe diabetes to the point where his right leg was nearly gangrenous. He lay still, his eyes half closed, and before the anesthesia, he was still lucid enough to tell the nurse reviewing the surgical information, "Remember, it's the right leg. Cut off the right leg." The nurse nodded, simultaneously glancing back at the paper attached to the clipboard for a final comparison. Her mouth muttered, repeating, "Right leg, right leg," as a way of reminding herself. However, after comparing the results, she placed the paper back on the table and quickly moved on to preparing the instruments, leaving the patient lying silently on the operating table. That paper on the clipboard has passed through many hands during the preparation process, from student nurses and operating room nurses to data entry clerks. In a moment of carelessness, someone accidentally typed or marked the wrong information in the surgical information box. The electronic health system, with automated standardization steps, replicated that information and directly recorded it in the record, "Amputate left leg." Everyone then believed that the information on the system was accurate, so no one stopped to double-check it. The mistake originated there, but no one knew until it was too late. The surgery was performed by Dr. Rolando R. Sanchez, a middle-aged Cuban man. Dr. Sanchez is known for his careful, clear, and organized work ethic. However, despite having performed many surgeries before, he also had moments of overconfidence. That morning, after quickly reviewing the patient's records, he saw it clearly stated in the paperwork, "Left leg amputation." After reading it, he nodded, accepting it as accurate information without any further doubt. He also didn't ask the patient again or cross-check with the head nurse to confirm. Everything proceeded according to the usual routine, putting on surgical gowns, disinfecting hands, entering the operating room with the confidence of someone who was used to the procedure. He believed he was doing the right thing, but unexpectedly, it turned out to be a huge mistake. The operation began at 8:15. Willie King drifted into a deep sleep from the anesthesia, and his left leg was marked with a blue marker, an undeniable confirmation. The lights shone down, making it as bright as day. The bones saw a word into action first. And then, in just a few minutes, that healthy leg left the man's body. At that moment, a young nurse squinted at the file and then turned to whisper to the doctor, "Doctor, I remember the patient said it was the right leg." The entire operating room seemed to hold its breath. Dr. Sanchez stopped, a chill running down his spine. He looked down at his cut foot, then turned back to the file. Everything faded, leaving only the low hum of the suction machine, a late warning. The left leg is gone, and the right leg, the one that needed surgery, was still lying there intact. Willie King woke up a few hours later in the recovery room. He looked down under the blanket and couldn't feel anything in his left leg. "Why this leg?" he asked quietly. No one answered. There was only heavy silence and averted eyes. The news spread like wildfire. The press swarmed in, running the headline, "Patient's leg wrongly amputated. Florida doctor causes shock. Dr. Sanchez faced an investigation from the State Medical Board, was suspended from practice for 6 months, fined $10,000, and the hospital was required to compensate Mr. King a total of over $1 million. However, no amount of money could restore the integrity of Willie King's body. The healthy leg was already lost, and the gangrenous leg had to be amputated a few weeks later. From a man with 2 legs, he became a double amputee, all because of a fleeting glance, a misplaced blue pen mark, and blind faith in the process. Dr. Sanchez lived quietly in the months that followed. He didn't go outside, didn't go to the hospital, and even avoided the medical seminars he used to be passionate about. In the small house on the outskirts of Tampa, every morning he brews coffee, sits by the window overlooking the garden, and occasionally mutters the name Willie King as a prayer for his own carelessness. If only I had asked him again. If only I had looked up from the files. And Mr. King, he now has to learn to walk with a prosthetic leg. He didn't sue publicly or hold noisy press conferences. He only told the journalist, "Luckily, I only have 2 legs. If it were my dad, I'd probably lose both of them." The saying makes people laugh, but their hearts ache. That story, which seemed like a joke, became a wake-up call for the entire medical field. After the incident, a series of hospitals in the U.S. changed their surgical procedures. On the patient's skin, they began to write the word "no" in large red ink where intervention was not needed. Before the scalpel touches the body, the entire team must pause for a few seconds, a step called a timeout, to re-verify all information. Life, it turns out, is preserved from those very moments of stillness. Life sometimes doesn't go wrong in the big choices, but in what seem like small ones. A blot of ink, a hasty nod, a confirmation left unsaid. And that mistake can't always be fixed with money or time. It's understandable that we older folks tend to forget things, but if the person forgetting is a doctor, the consequences can be very serious. Just a small mistake like confusing left and right is enough to severely impact someone's entire life. People laugh to ease the pain, but after laughing, they think, when we get old, weaker, and can no longer control everything, all we can do is put our trust in the hands of others. At that time, all we could hope for was to meet someone who was truly sincere and responsible. Otherwise, we can only pray to God that the doctor doesn't mistake the left foot for the right. Thank you for joining Dr. Late Life for this special story. If you find this interesting and want to hear more true stories from the medical field that are humorous, bitter, and thought-provoking like this, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Every time the bell rings, it's a journey into real-life cases that sound like stories. Dr. Late Life says hello and looks forward to seeing you in the next videos.